Oh yeah, this is still here, isn't it? Hello, hello, warriors. Welcome, welcome. Where are you joining from today? Hello, hello. So excited to have you here. Thank you for watching. We are going to be talking about nurturing the warrior within, self-care and self-love essentials today. If you're joining us on replay, hashtag replay in the chat. If you're joining live, hashtag live on the chat as well. So excited and blessed to have you here with me, ladies. Where are you from? Drop it in the chat if you want to interact a little bit with me. How's everybody's day going? I hope everybody's day is going great. Hello, hello. Welcome, women warriors. Welcome to the Nurturing the Warrior within self-care and self-love essentials. So excited to be here with you today. Welcome in to the Zoom event or to the Facebook Live, wherever you are. So thankful that you're here. Welcome. Join me in the comment section, in the chat, wherever you feel comfortable to talk with me as we get going here today. Super excited to talk about nurturing ourselves within and how to take care of ourselves. Well, a little bits of how we can take care of ourselves, really the bigger benefits as to why it's so important to take care of ourselves and to why focusing on self-love is so important. I know for me, I would not be here if it wasn't for my journey to inspire self-love, women warriors. I'm here for that very reason. Give me just one quick second for those of you online. I want to close this curtain. Maybe I'll show you my curtain as we're talking self-love. Like, I know it sounds silly, but totally a self-love thing. Okay, I'm back. Yes, women warriors. So tell me how your day's been. Drop it in the chat if you're here online. Thank you so much for your time and joining me today. So excited to be here and talk about our nurturing the warrior within. We're going to go over some fun ways to think about why it's important and how, I strongly believe that us as women warriors are here on this journey because we are warriors because life is difficult sometimes. Like, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I'm sure you guys too, because it's part of the human journey to endure suffering, to endure pain. And well, we got to overcome those battles, right? Like for me, I had a lot of internal battles and I've gone through my fair share of experiences. And so that's just a little bit of what I'm going to share. So I'm going to share some reasons why it's important to focus on self-love and why you should nurture that warrior within. And we're going to talk about benefits to self-care and self-love, why that's so important. I'm going to give you a couple of tips and tricks or kind of some ideas on how you can start prioritizing your self-care and your self-love during this time. Because I know sometimes it's really easy to forget that we should be prioritizing our self-love and self-care, right? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Welcome, warriors. If you are joining us now, I'm so excited to have you here. If you're watching the replay, so excited to have you here as well. You are beautiful women, and I'm so thankful to have you here with us. Let's see, I don't know if I can see my chat on Facebook. I think I lost it. Oh, here it is. So if you join at any time, feel free to interact with me, even if it's on the replay, you guys. I watch these chats and, I love to hear feedback from you ladies on what I can do better, how I can help you. If you have any ideas or topics you want to hear about, then please let me know. Is that sharing that part of the screen? Let's see here. Let's stop sharing real quick. I want to share this PowerPoint. I'm going to do that. Let's try again. Okay. Hopefully that is now sharing what I wanted to share. Yes. Okay, cool. Now I can see everything I need to see, I think, which is a win. Trying to figure this all out, ladies. I am new to this whole thing. Well, kind of new. The journey to inspire self-love, it has been a journey. If you haven't been with me this whole time, my name is Tanya Emanuel. I am a woman warrior because I've been through my fair share of battles, and I believe it is my mission now to help women like you, women like who I have been, women who are ahead of me, who, I mean, is it ahead? We all have our own journeys, right? But to just spend time talking about self love and why it's important for us to share these experiences so that, if you happen to be new on the journey, to first of all, most importantly, feel that you are not alone because you are not. And secondly, because this is where my journey has led me. It just has led me here. I can't begin to tell you, but it really feels like a calling. And I just am so excited to be here and to serve you today, women warriors. So let's get moving. We have welcomed you to the live. Let's see, is this working? Okay, welcome. Okay. Thank you for joining me. If you're here live, feel free to say hashtag live here in Facebook, hashtag live here in the waiting room. Oh, I think someone's joining us. So welcome. Hashtag live, team live. Welcome to Women Warriors Wednesday. So excited to have you here. Thank you for joining. I should be able to see your chat. If you are on camera, that is your choice. Otherwise, you're safe to be off camera. I don't know if I can hear you though. I don't even know if my sound's working, to be honest with you, but that's okay. So we are going to be talking about self-love and self-care today, and why that's essential, why it's important for our everyday life to just talk about these important topics and how it can help us moving into, this beautiful world, this beautiful thing we call life. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out my screen action here because I'm just one thing at a time, I'm trying to figure out some things and then some things I don't know, but it's fine. Ah. Hey, if you can hear me, can you comment in the chat to let me know you can hear me? It sounds good. I don't know what we're doing. Okay, we can hear. Perfect. That's positive. Okay, well, we'll just get going here then. We will just carry on this beautiful idea that I've got going here. Oh, here we go. I'm figuring things out. Okay. All right. Chat there. Trying to see the Facebook chat in case anyone joins us. Okay. Well, welcome. Women Warriors Wednesday. This is going to be a weekly thing. So if you're free every Wednesday, feel free to join me. I have this series, the same link will be good until the Wednesday before Christmas, because Christmas, I think, falls on a Wednesday this year. So feel free to join us every Wednesday. We'll be talking about new topics. Hopefully I'll be able to get those topics out a little bit sooner than I have been, just because just trying to figure it all out still, right? So anywho, yeah, moving on. So can you relate, ladies? Have you ever prioritized others' needs above your own? Type yes if that's you. Yes, woman warrior, I absolutely have prioritized others' needs above my own. Yes, in the chat as well. All right, can you relate? Have you ever felt burnout, emotional stress, and a sense of emptiness from ignoring your own needs? Say I have in the comments if you have. In the chat it says every day. Yeah, it's an everyday battle, isn't it? Let's see, what else do we got here? One more question for you ladies. Who wants to prioritize our well-being by embracing self-care and self-love? Say me if that's you. Me, I totally want to do that. I want to prioritize myself and not feel guilty for taking care of my needs and for taking care of my well-being and learning to love who I am and embracing all the quirky, unique parts of me because it's so important. Okay. Well, I'm glad, ladies, that we are here because this is how we can move forward through this journey. So, some of the ways to get the most out of this free training is remember, this is for you. So, connect with yourself and avoid social distraction if you're able to. Of course, we all have lives. Many of us are moms or pet owners, or just, sometimes we just get distracted, which is okay. But remember, this is for you. Journal your awareness. So write out your thoughts if you have anything that comes to mind while you're here. Keep track of your emotions if anything gets triggered or things that you want to think about. And this is your opportunity to grab some paper and a pen now if you haven't gotten one, because, you know, some good stuff coming. I was really excited putting this together for you ladies because it's just so fun. Okay. Be interactive with me. So use the chat, put in some emojis, just tell me how you're feeling. Team replay is going to be great for you if you're here live, team live. I'm so excited and blessed to have you here. Thank you for your time. It is something I value and cherish. And another thing I want you to know is in that interaction, feel free to share because all of your shares are valuable to me and to others around us. Like, this is about building a community of women interested in these topics because, well, how are we going to grow and have a community if we don't build that into us? Kaylee, I see you're on Facebook. Welcome, Woman Warrior. Thank you. Let's see here. Next, I want this to be a safe and fun space. So please be respectful of the things that we hear, supportive of each other. Don't forget to enjoy your time because we get to spend this time together. I'm excited for that time together. I'm like, see, these things just flow with me here. And of course, most importantly, thank you again for being here because I know how valuable all of our times are. We're all busy women. So the first thing I want to start off with is the armor of resilience, because ladies, we have to wear this armor sometimes for ourselves, right? So just as a woman, just as a warrior's armor protects and empowers them, self-care and self-love shields you from life's everyday battles, and it strengthens your inner resilience. I know for me, I felt so disempowered. And I felt like such a victim when my thoughts and my emotions, especially when I was living a life I didn't want to live. I was extremely miserable when I was with an extremely toxic ex-partner. Certain things in life were good, right? Like, thankfully, I had a good job. Thankfully, I had like a healthy child, right? And yeah, I felt very not well all the time outside of that. Like, I'd go to work and it like work distracted me from like my real life at home, and I'd go from work and slowly drive to work home, and like I could just feel the anxiety creeping up because I hadn't been preparing myself. I wasn't putting my armor on every day. I'd put on my work clothes, which at the time were scrubs. I would roll out of bed. I would just do some basic makeup if I did my makeup. And boom, there I am, drive to work, at work, taking care of everybody else's children because I worked in the children's surgical unit at that time, which, girl, homegirl on Facebook, my girl, same day, hey. Um, sorry, side tangent. Gotta show my love. I loved that job. Did so many good things there. So just love all my same day peeps. And so I, I had this thing where I wasn't putting on my own armor every day, right? And so now, instead of just doing that, I put my armor on, and that can look like different things, right? Self-care and self-love. For me now, it's also getting to choose what I wear. I know that sounds really silly, but I love it how Lisa Bilyeu messaged it. She put it out on her, what's it called? She put it out. Sorry, I'm lost my words. Lisa Bilyeu puts that in one of her books and in her story, right? Is that she gets dressed like it's her armor for the day. And I was like, yes, warrior, I relate to that because sometimes you just kind of get stuck in the mundane world of everyday life, right? And so we're not taking care of ourselves. We're not loving who we are. We're just going day by day and just going through the motions, which, that happens. And so I'm just here to encourage all of us to give ourselves a little more love. So that's part of the thing I like to do is I like to get dressed so that I feel empowered. So I feel that self-love within myself. And that can mean an array of things for all of us, right? I like to get my nails done. They're a little bit behind times, but I like to get my nails done. I like to have my toes done. I also like to do my makeup when I go out. Some days I'll take my no makeup days because I believe there's a true beauty within all of us. We do not need makeup. This makeup is not required, but it does make me feel better. So why wouldn't I do something that I know will make me feel better, right? Not only that, but the accessories I choose to wear, the clothing I choose to get to wear, like these are all things that we get to choose and put on our bodies to fortify who we are and to have that resilience inside of us. Another piece to why we need to do this is because we have to feed the flame. Feeding the flame is so important to our souls, especially if you have fallen off the journey to inspire self-love. So the inner warrior thrives when the flame of self-love and self-care is fed regularly, keeping the spirit bright and resilient against the winds of adversity. I strongly believe that when we are taking care of ourselves, when we're filling up our cup, our internal flame comes up. We're able to find more joy, find more passion in our lives because we're taking care of ourselves. You know, I realized that when I wasn't loving myself and honoring my values, my desires, who I really truly was, it just led to my unhappiness. I realized that when I started my journey to inspire self love, that's when I really started to take my life back. I got to take my power back. I stopped being a victim of my situations, of my situationship. And I really started to decide and love myself and look like, okay, Tanya, so I don't even know who I am anymore because that flame inside of me was dying. Like I literally felt like that flicker of light inside of me was just like gonna be like out. Have you ever felt like that? Hmm. Yeah, I have too. And that's why here I am on this journey to inspire self-love. I live to be inspired. As you see, I have my own little inspire sign here because I need to be inspired. I have to feed my flame within so I myself can stay inspired. So I can love myself every day because it's an everyday thing for some of us, especially for me. Hey, if that's you too, say, hey, me too. So not only that, but we have to remember that sometimes we have to be the rising phoenix of our own story. Okay. So self-love and self-care are the flames that enable your inner warrior to rise from the ashes, renewed and stronger than ever. The transformation story of a woman overcoming toxic relationships or your toxic situation or your toxic self, right? Like this is kind of just a general statement. And of course, it relates to me rising from the ashes to embrace self-love and a healthier lifestyle. Like these things that we go through, sometimes for some of us, and by some of us, I definitely mean me and my own journey and my own story, it felt like hell. I don't know about you guys, and if you've ever been in hell, which I don't recommend getting there. If you've never been there, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. If you've been there, the pain and the struggle, it's so real. If you are still there, my heart goes out to you. You're here. You are not alone. You know, I joined several empowerment groups when I was coming out of my darkness. I literally had to find things to help me transform my life. You know, I don't think very many people knew. I mean, I think like some of the people I knew the how bad things were. But when I really got into this place of, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen for like just a minute. Like when you leave a situation like how I left, sometimes it's just nobody knows. Nobody knows how difficult it can be to say, where am I? like, where did that, like, how did I get to this point right now that I'm just miserable in my everyday life? And, stories, this is my personal story. So, like, I hope that you've not been there. I hope that if you are there, this gives you encouragement to know that you can be that inner warrior and embrace that journey and really learn to care for yourself so that way you can start living your best life. It's so important to give yourself that credit when we deserve that credit. Sometimes I know, like, for me, I was in such a dark spot that I didn't really give myself any credit for all those things I had overcome and been in. So I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but I'm so excited, you guys. Okay, so let me reshare my screen. Sharing, share. All right. So we're going to talk about the wellness statistics. I told you, ladies, that I would bring you some information on why it's so important to do this. And first of all, especially for me, mental health. It is so important. According to the World Health Organization, also known as WHO, 1 in 3 women globally experience mental health issues such as anxiety or depression. I am one of 3 women who have experienced this, ladies. So, like I said, you are not alone on this journey. I actually didn't know that I was experiencing a lot of anxiety until I started kind of healing a little bit out of my recovery, like healing a little bit and moving into my recovery phase of life. But like the depression, I always knew I had. Like I had depression, constantly sad, especially here in Utah. I had like that seasonal affected depression. So like in the winter time, I was always extra sad. And then take some water, take a drink. Excuse me, pardon. And yeah, like that was something I suffered with for a very long time in my youth, especially in my youth. And this doesn't look like it's sharing my thing, or maybe it's a little bit behind. Maybe my Facebook is a little bit behind. Sorry, ladies, if you're lagging behind on Facebook. Hope you're still with me. There it is, it's catching up. So, anywho, the next thing about it is the self-care benefits that we receive when we are actually practicing self-care, right? Is there's a survey by the American Psychological Association, apparently also called APA, found that individuals who engage in regular self-care practices report a 72% increase in life satisfaction. So I don't know about you guys, but I want to enjoy life. I want to have fun with life. I want to feel alive with life. And before I started the journey to inspire self-love, I didn't feel any of those things. I literally was experiencing all the stuff in that last wellness point: depression, anxiety, fear, frustration, anger, resentment, all the things that point to say, hey, boo, you're not taking care of you. They were all screaming at me in my face. But I was so ashamed to admit to myself, and so ashamed and guilty to admit and to say that I hated what I was doing with my life at the time. And not like every part of my life, but specifically like those toxic parts in my life, right? Like those parts were the parts that were the hardest. And because I wasn't taking care of myself and I was ignoring myself, I was extremely unhappy. And life was not satisfying. It was miserable. There were moments that I thought like, Lord, could I just not wake up today? And then I would quickly panic and think like, how can I leave my little child alone with the situation, right? So thankfully, that was not God's plan with me, and I am still here, even though, I maybe tried to not be here a couple times in my youth. But, that's why it's so important to be on this journey, because it really is more than just looking cute, ladies. Physical health impacts. So research from the journals of the health psychology show that women who regularly practice self-care have a 40% lower risk of heart disease. That's a pretty good amount of like lower risks for heart disease. You know, our heart is the most important. And I don't know about you on if you've had this kind of pain and sorrow, but when I wasn't loving myself, my heart hurt all the time. Partially because of the depression, partially from the ignoring my needs and my wants and my desires and sacrificing myself for others. So it's important that we take care of our bodies, our hearts, and our minds and our souls because it can help lower our risk of actual heart disease. Like, that's amazing, women. We all need to be practicing this more. Another thing is the self-love correlation, right? The study published by the Journal of Positive Psychology indicates that high levels of self-love are associated with an 86% increase in overall well-being and happiness. Like I said, we are here to live life, enjoy it, experience it, and come on, ladies, girls just want to have fun, right? So living in like my feminine energy after being in such a toxic situation for so long, where I literally was portraying all of the masculine energy inside of me. Remember we were talking about that flame? Oh, girls, ladies, I don't know about you, but my flame was getting smothered because I was being too much of that masculine energy every day. So let's talk about how we can help ourselves do this, right? So we can help ourselves do this with some daily rituals. So I'm just going to give you a couple of things that you can practice if you're not already practicing these things, or if you have been practicing them, maybe spend a little bit extra time on it. Maybe you were practicing it and now you've fallen a little bit behind. And I encourage you to think about it. Has that changed who you are in a positive way? Is it improving your life, your quality of life? If so, then please feel free to share that in the comments if you're still here or if you're watching the replay. Okay. And if you're not doing any of these things, then I would encourage you to pick at least one of these things. Okay. I'm only going to share 5 things today on daily rituals that we can practice for ourselves or do for ourselves. And there's so many more things that we could be doing to enhance our own self-love. But, you know, this is just a start, right? So come on back. It works if you work this, ladies. So the first thing is the mindfulness practice. Incorporate mindfulness exercises such as meditation or breathing techniques for at least 15 minutes daily to reduce stress and increase self-awareness. I know, meditation can sound so ominous sometimes, especially when you're not doing it often or regularly. And like, I'll admit, some days I fall off and I'm not doing it, just like how some of you may not be, or how I didn't do it for years and years and years. But it is like the number one way to connect with our creator, to connect with that universe around us. And I think I'm getting an eyelash in my eye, but that's okay. We're going to get through it. Meditation, bringing it back to one, bringing it back to center. Some people like to meditate near water, outside where there's birds, in nature. Some people like to just go on a walk within nature, like that can count for meditation for some of us. Brendan Bouchard has this great meditation, release meditation technique where he likes to, close his eyes and slow his breathing, likes to take nice deep breaths. And he says, release, release, release. And that helps him. He says it quietly in his head. I just want to show you what it's like. And he says that to do that, to practice saying release in your mind in a calm and peaceful way, so that you're releasing the thoughts that come, right? Because girls, women, warriors, we are human. We have thousands of thoughts that are rolling around in our head all the time. And sometimes we just need to like, whoop, slow those down. And that's what meditation does. It helps slow your mind down, right? So, especially like for me, when I was like spiraling on those negative, toxic thoughts about myself because I wasn't loving myself, like, how could I do this to myself? Why did I get here? How could he do this? Why couldn't he do that? How come he didn't do that? Why did I do that? what am I gonna do with this? What if this? Like, I don't know if you guys could hear, but like there was a why for everything. And if there wasn't a why for everything, there was a self-blame for all of it too. So that's what this release meditation can do, like the release meditation technique. YouTube, Brendan Bouchard, it's a great one. He'll show you how to do it. And not only are you learning to release those mind things, like the thoughts, I'm sorry, those thoughts that are coming into your mind, but also try to release your body's tension while you're breathing in and out and saying release, 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 right? It works, ladies. I know it takes time. And no, it's going to take a while. Those 15 minutes, they seem like so long at the beginning. But the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. The better it'll be to just quiet your mind. It'll let you get connected, centered, and then you'll be ready for another day on this battlefield of life. The next thing I want to mention is creating healthy boundaries. Learn to say no. Set some healthy boundaries to protect your time, to protect your energy, and to ensure that you're prioritizing your own well-being and needs over others. Some people will tell you that's selfish, like, how dare you do that thing? Well, I'm going to tell you, maybe those people need to do this too, because it is not healthy to give up your own needs for everyone all the time. And you know what? Yes, mamas, I'm talking to you too. Okay. I'm a mama too. And sometimes it's hard. And it's hard because sometimes you want to have that little bit of like mom guilt for saying, like, can you please watch my child so I can go like get my nails done, so I can go get a massage, so I can go read a book for 15 minutes? Like, could you please watch the child so I could take an uninterrupted shower for 15 minutes? Like, just let the water run on me, maybe shave my armpits a little bit, shave my legs. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a first time new mom in a not healthy relationship, it was very hard to find that time, right? To find that alone time. And then, being separated, still trying to make it work. To then have a partner say, yeah, I just come over here so my bitch wife can take a shower. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Don't you get to take a shower uninterrupted on your time whenever the F you please? Yes, we all get to have that opportunity, especially when we are in healthy, loving relationships. There shouldn't even be a question. I knew that moment that it was going to be a hard no with that person, that I just didn't love myself. I had given myself up in my needs and desires to be within an unhealthy situation. This is not about toxic relationships today, but that definitely is part of this theme of like why we need to inspire self-love. So more to come on that another time. We also want to build community connection, okay? If you aren't in a group, I hope you're here watching this in the Women Warriors Facebook group. It's time to build a community around you where you can find women to encourage you and lift you up. We have to be there for each other and engage with each other actively in these types of communities so that we know we're not alone. So we have community to go to. Like, we as women and humans, men as well, we were not created to be stuck inside of a house all day long with no people, without any human connection, without conversation. It's not fun to isolate yourself. Sure, sometimes when we're in our depression, when we're in our minds, when we're in our own self guilt, we feel like, I just want to stay home and cry and be sad, and like I don't want to do anything. I just want to be in bed. I don't want to get up. I don't want to do anything. Baby, that's your body telling you that something's wrong in your life, that something's going on. And you need to stop and listen to your body. We as humans were not created to be isolated. Even worse, even worse, if you yourself, like myself, if we allowed ourselves to become isolated due to the people that we chose in our life, the people we didn't say no to create isolation for us. I know for me, that was a really hard lesson to learn. It was really difficult for me to admit and to say, I lost all my closest friends because I prioritized this partner that doesn't put me as a priority. I was always an option B or the back situation, or maybe like option C or D, but I was never number one in that situation. And sure, maybe we shouldn't be each other's number one because we should be like, at least now I believe like it should be like my number one is like my creator, my God, my spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, that higher power inside of me that loves me, that fills me up, that lets me know I'm going to be okay no matter the challenges that I'm facing here on this earth. Like, that's my number one. My number two is me. I get to be my number two because when nobody else is around, I have to be around for myself. I have to love who I am, love myself so that I can make it through these things. And then number three, like if you're a mom, your kids should definitely go in that spot because I mean, like, they're our blood, like it's mama life, it's hard. And then of course our partners have to go there too, right? And some people might say like we should take care of our partners more, but those children depend on us. Those kids are not able to take care of themselves yet. So yeah, we as moms, especially as moms, have to take care of our youth first, right? Like that grown ass man, that grown ass boy, I should say, he needs to take care of himself before anything else. And a real man will take care of himself and take care of you and your children or your children together. So, ladies, we practice self-love and self-care so we can also have healthy relationships moving forward in our next choices. Another thing we're supposed to do for a daily ritual is to remember to rest and rejuvenate. Make sure you're getting enough sleep and taking regular breaks to rest and rejuvenate. And you should be aiming for 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Does that sound so simple or what? On a good day, I'm thankful to get 7 hours of sleep. I won't lie to you, some days that's hard. We work, we hustle, we grind, we got all these things to do. That's right. In the comment from the last one, it says, until 18, your child should be number 3. After that, let them live and learn. That's right. We got to live and learn our own lessons, spoken from a mama dearest. So yes, we must rest and rejuvenate ourselves because if we don't, if we are just a cup with cracks or holes from the life events, the traumas, the bad experiences, if we're not actively patching those holes with rest, with rejuvenation, with these mindful practices, with our healthy boundaries, then we can't pour out good things from us. That's when we start to yell more. We start to blame others more. We start to live in this mental like place of like not good enough, the lack of, right? So the last daily ritual I just want to throw in there because who doesn't like to party a little bit? Hey, is we got to celebrate the small wins. Okay. There were so many good things I could pick to put on this list, but these are my top 5 for this lesson, for this training, for this time together on this Women Warriors Wednesday is to acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small, and reinforce the positive behavior and that builds self-esteem. I know when I first started my journey to inspire self-love, it was like little tiny things, right? I literally was coming out of like hell. For me, I felt like I was literally like trying to escape hell, dragging myself out of hell, like, come on, let's go. We got to get out of here. Was not that easy though. So we have to celebrate those little things, right? Like getting out of bed sometimes, like that can be a win. Taking a shower can be a win. You get to decide what you're celebrating in your life. Going to work, keeping the house clean, doing your laundry, flossing your teeth and brushing them. Like sometimes, like when I first started my journey, I was like, damn girl, you haven't been flossing. We got to floss these teeth more often. And those little things that seem so silly, like, oh, it's just a little bit of flossing, but like, yeah, celebrate for flossing every day. Like, it's a hard challenge. Like, are you flossing every day? It's a good question, right? Like, if you aren't, no judgment. I didn't floss for like forever. Sometimes I still don't floss every day, but like, when you do it, it's a self-care thing. It's like learning to love yourself, right? Working out is another one. Health, like health, fitness stuff, being active always should be on this list. I did not put it on my list because like sometimes when you just don't feel good, like that's the last thing you want to do. But like, yes, it's good for you, ladies. Get out there, take a walk, get out there, go to the mall and walk around. Like that's a great, fun way to walk around, right? Go to the mall, enjoy pretty things, go to the park. I love going to the park. That's like one of my vices. I love to go to the park and read a book on a blanket under a shady tree, or sometimes a little bit in the sun, a little bit in the shade. Like a park with a book, that's my happy place sometimes. So I want to leave you with the framework, ladies, because we are warriors. And so this is the framework I'm leaving you today. WARRIOR, because we are warriors within, and we are nurturing the warrior within, right? Oh, we're going backwards. Okay. So warrior, writing it down. So if you got your notebook, write this down because it's a good one to have. Our first one is going to be worthiness. You got to embrace and recognize your inherent worth. You are worthy of living your most best life. We don't need to be mediocre, ladies. You do not need to settle to having that sad, depressed, resentful life. We should be living it. We should be life enjoying it. We should be bringing our passions out of this world, like out of us and into this world. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so a couple things you can do to practice your worthiness is by exercising some affirmations. Practice those affirmations to enforce your self-worth. So one of the things that I used to say that I like can't even tell you, it was like anytime I had a bad thought, these things would come to my mind. I would say, I receive love. I am full of love. I give love. I am loved. And I am loved because I didn't feel love. I didn't feel like I deserved to be loved because I was in such a bad place when I first started my journey that I literally thought I deserved to be in this toxic, empty marriage where there wasn't very much love. There was no accountability. There was no growth together. There was just a lot of blame, shame, guilt, and a lot of you suck kind of things in my life. And not only was he saying those things to me, but I was given that too. Like, that's not what I wanted to be. When I used to look at myself, oh, here's another thing you can is reflecting on your personal strengths. Like, I used to reflect on all the negative things I was doing. I didn't reflect on any positive things. I wasn't giving myself credit, right? I wasn't celebrating those wins. So you got to so you can also use journaling about your personal strengths and your achievements, like celebrating those wins to help you move through the worthiness because you are a warrior and you are worthy. Authenticity is what A stands for. So learning to express our true selves. I kind of mentioned that with getting to wear our armor for the day. Here I am in my leopard print. You can't really see the back of my dress, but hey girls, let's see. I love me some leopard. I will rock it probably until the day I die. And if I choose to not like it, well, guess what? Last week's Woman Warrior Wednesday was about I have the right to choose and make a decision. So one day if I don't like leopard print or jaguar print, then I will not. But right now, this day, today, I plan on rocking it until I die. That's right. And that's okay, because that is me, baby. I get to be who I am and embrace myself, express myself without fear, without guilt or shame or care about what other people think of me. Like, this is the goal, right? We want to love who we are. So, things you can do to help improve yourself in your authenticity is do some authenticity workshops, explore your own personal values and your passions, and decide what you like. You know, I know for me, I went through a phase when I wasn't very healthy myself, when I wasn't loving myself, that I didn't even know what I liked anymore. I literally was like bypassing myself to be in a situation I didn't want to be in. Another thing to think about is also taking on this topic with another group of people. So I hope if you are interested, let's have that authenticity discussion here within Inspire Self Love. If you're watching the replay, put something in there. If you're interested in an authenticity topic, let's get some conversation moving around that because it's important to stay true to yourself in all of life's various scenarios that it has for us because We're going to have lows in life and we're going to have highs in life. And the key is to take the next best action for yourself, your truest, most authentic, best choice for you. And sometimes I'll reflect back and think like, wow, how did I get myself to those places? Well, that was the choice that I could make at that time with the woman that I was in those moments. We're not here to judge ourselves and to hate ourselves. Like all of the reflecting that you do in your life should be about like, who was that girl? Who was that young woman that didn't know what she was doing and experienced this pain and suffering? And now, as this woman warrior, what can I do about it? Well, you can't change the past, but you can change your perception on how you view that situation and carve it out to be a new light, which leads me right into my next point of resilience, right? So you have to be able to bounce back from adversity. Remember, we are meant to be here for some reason. You matter, you are worthy, you deserve to live your best life, and you have to practice bouncing back from these struggles that we all go through. So there's a couple things that you can do to practice resilience. One of the activities is to do some like resilience training with yourself, um, or with somebody else, like a coach like myself. You can go through some situations and scenarios with yourself if you feel like you can do that, or with somebody, a friend, a coach, somebody that might have some more experience in whatever situation or scenario you're looking for, and role play that. I used to think like, okay, like if I was going to have this situation, like how would I be in that scenario? And then envision yourself taking that next best right choice for you, or thinking of like, how would I have handled this situation a little bit better? Right? And the only way, some of the ways that we do that, right, is by sharing and learning from other people's stories of when they overcame their challenges. So sometimes it's hard to be vulnerable, but it's so important to remember that this resilience that we build comes from sharing our own personal stories. Just like I hope you can tell and feel and sense that I'm here doing that from me to you because I love you and I want to be here and I want to share and learn to overcome more challenges in life, because are we going to have challenges? We sure are. So we also have to have restorative practices that are in Warrior. We got to implement practices that restore and rejuvenate our mind, body, and soul. So it was part of the last thing, right? So we can do some meditation, mindfulness, or even express ourselves through creative outlets like art, music, or dance, so that we can express our emotions and release them back out. I don't know about you ladies, but I love to get me down on some music. Hey, I love to dance. Sometimes I'm just plugging in and I'm still dancing away, working, and I'm just like, yeah. And you know what? I don't care. Judge me if you want, but I'm having a good time. Even if we're at work and hey, could be like a dead silent room. And sometimes I like start singing. I'm like, whatever. They're all typing away anyway. It's good. It's fun. It can be fun. Another thing to think about is that introspection, right? So engage yourself in some deep reflection to gain personal insights, right? We're not doing this to judge ourselves, but we want to use these introspection exercises to prompt ourselves into thinking through these situations, right? They say journaling can really help you process your thoughts. So facilitate some quiet time for yourself for personal reflection, and maybe set some goals while you're there. If you're not growing, it starts to feel like you're dying. Women, like, I don't know if you've been there. If you don't have any single goals and you feel sad or frustrated or something, like, I would encourage you to at least set a little goal that you can start to accomplish today or tomorrow, because those little goals really do help grow our own sense of worthiness and accomplishments and can help us start this journey forward in a positive way, which leads me to the next word. We jumped a little too far. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Whew, didn't know I accidentally hit the wrong button there. So, optimism, we have to stay positive. We have to stay optimistic that even though right now it might be difficult to say life's awesome, life is grand, life is joyful, and I have passion and I feel connected to myself, to my purpose, to my desires, we got to stay optimistic that we can get there. I mean, women, I got there. If I can get there, you can get there. If you want to get there, if you need a little help along the way, don't worry, because we all sometimes need a little bit of help on the way, and that's okay. And because of that, I want to remind you to cultivate healthy relationships and supportive relationships, because when I was at my lowest, let's just say that 3 of my top 5 definitely didn't make the cut when I started to love myself, started to value myself, started to understand that I was giving myself up to these relationships that were not worth my time. They say that the top 5 people around you are the people you're going to be the most like. I didn't want to be toxic and negative and grumpy and depressed and frustrated and addicted to external things. I needed to become my own person. I needed to let go of those leaves that no longer served me, just like how trees do in the wintertime. If you don't let go, if you don't stop feeding those sources, sometimes they will kill you because they're taking all your energy. Those trees, and when winter comes, they have no shame. They have no shame in their let go game. Okay. The trees know that it's part of the season. When winter comes, they have to restore themselves. They have to preserve themselves. They have to hold on to their energy. And so we all think that leaves in the fall are so beautiful. If you're lucky enough to live in a state where the leaves change when they fall and the snow comes and it's so cold, right? The leaves are doing this, the trees are doing this, and we find it so beautiful. I used to think that letting people go was not a beautiful thing until I started to do it in a healthy way. I love everyone that I let go of, but they just don't serve the life that I want to live now. They don't serve the woman I'm trying to become. They don't serve my mission. They don't want to inspire self love. They don't want to have healthy boundaries, be resilient, have their own known worth. Like the people that I chose to let go of were the people that I needed to let go of because I wanted to work on cultivating healthy and supportive relationships. So, what do? We build and nurture and support. We are responsible to build our own nurturing, supportive relationships. And as Rosa saying in the live feed on Facebook, that the responsibility too, you're responsible for your own life. Don't wait for someone else to do it for you or make you happy. And I agree with you, Rosa. It is each of our jobs to find our own happiness, to find our own responsibilities and joys in our life, because no man's going to make you happy. No object will make you happy. We have to work on that inside of ourselves. So I hope that you realize that having some workshops that help you to recognize red flags and that also helping set healthy boundaries in relationships is another way to practice gaining relationships or to understand what a healthy relationship looks like. And I'm going to have some more of those to come too. So stay tuned, Women Warriors, because this is only the beginning. We will be going live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, here in the Facebook group and online on Zoom. So if you want a private link to join me, I would love to have you here with me in the room. Comment value if you received some value today. I hope that you were able to find some clarity today. Please comment if you got value, and so excited to have you here. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching the replay if you're here. Just a reminder, if you need any additional support, feel free to set up an empowerment call with me today. Send me a message, drop it in the comments if you have any needs. I'm happy to get connected with you because it's important to stay connected. So we'll see you next week, Women Warriors, for Women Warriors Wednesday at 7 p.m. If you would like or don't already follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, please make sure you follow along for this journey because we are in this together. And because we're on this journey and we always have things going on, I'm going to be starting a new project to help inform Americans on the cultures of Mexico with my lovely dearest mother named Rosa. Hi, Mom. And she just wanted me to put in a plug that we're gonna start that channel. So if you want to learn about Mexico or things, how things are, the economy, about the presidents, like is the cartel going crazy still there or not? Like check out that channel. Once we get it set up and moving, I'll drop it in the comments in the chat, in the Facebook group in case any of you are interested, or if you live in Mexico and you want to participate, let us know. We would love to host you too. Maybe I'm jumping the gun there, but still, it would be fun. I think it's important for all of us to stay connected in this amazing world that we call life. And remember that we are just here to do our own thing, whatever that thing looks like, that's up to you to decide. But there is room for you in this world. In this group, Women Warriors, I encourage you to speak your mind, to love yourself, to promote what you want in the sense of self love, self care, the journey where you are. And stay tuned. And I hope to see you next Wednesday. Until then, much love. If you have any topics you want to hear from me, please let me know.